Greetings, fellow rocket scientists. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan. Episode 64, the ice mining rocket finished and prepped. The other parts we're going to want to add to a rocket is cargo. And the rocket cargo storage small is going to be enough for our purposes. Filling one small is just fine. So there's a cargo small, and this is a 50 stacked ore container. So it's a lot of space. You know, it's 2,500 ores, which is plenty of yield. And in order to build it, I don't think it's just the kit. So that's all set. Then the other thing we're going to want is the rocket miner. So the rocket miner allows you to actually mine stuff that you've surveyed and charted. So the rocket miner requires a bit of power, but not too much. It exports to the cargo, or else it fills up internally. It will require 2 more electronic parts for me to build, so I'm going to build 2 more parts over here. Oops, I accidentally interrupted the rocket miner. I thought the wrong thing built. And then the rocket miner itself has a mining head that needs an attachment part too. Because the miner itself doesn't do the mining, there's different attachment heads for it. There's a drill slot. So we're going to have to pick a drill type. Normally you would need to survey what you're mining before you go up there, because how could you possibly know what drill head to attach? But, I mean, I'm just going to use my knowledge of Vulcan to cheese it, because I know what it needs. So we're going to get the appropriate mining head for that as well. Come on, Solar Storm, go away. At least tonight we know, I mean, you can't have a solar storm during the nighttime, so at least we know it's finite in that way. Alright, so there's our rocket miner. And that is, as I said, built with electronic parts. And then we need the drill head. So there is the basic drill head, which just does a little bit of everything. We can add that. And then there's this ice drill head, which is better for ice. I think, actually, for this, I'm just going to do a basic drill head. Let's pretend I don't have advanced knowledge, and I'm just like, well, we'll just have a general utility head. But the other ones that you can build here is like high speed for minerals, high speed for ice, durable ones that last a long time, ones for ice, basic ones, a long-term one, you know, mineral ones, so on and so forth. So there's a whole bunch of different choices. So we'll just do the basic drill head. It is also the cheapest, because there's no urgency as to when or efficiency matter. The drill heads, the specialty drill heads, are more like when you're trying to do a massive amount of mining, something specific. So if you're trying to amass a certain element or something like that, which, I mean, we are, but not, we don't have to design it for scale. Not this time around. So there's the drill head for the mining unit. Then we still want a scanner. So the rocket scanner. And the reason for the rocket scanner is we won't be able to know what we're drilling unless we scan it. So even a mining unit needs a scanner. And the rocket scanner needs just steel sheets to weld, which we've got. And then we need the head, the scanner head, attached to it too. Because both the drill head and the drill and the scanner have attachment heads. 26% CO2. I really hope tonight it, like, bounces back. Alright, so there's the rocket scanner, and we want the scanner head. Now, I think, apart from some, like, basic plumbing, I think that's all we need. No, the cargo umbilicals. And then chutes, too. Yep. We're almost done with all the parts required for the rocket. All spilled out on the floor here. Looks like the sun's down just about. It's still technically a solar storm. I guess there's still some daylight left. Not that I can see. But I mean, I'd have to go in my rocket observatory. Actually, let's do that. I get a much better view up here. Oh, yeah, okay. I still see Janice. And the lines on this map are thickening, meaning that we're filling out even more of it. Which is good. Alright, there's our surface scanner head. Perfect. Then, we are going to want the chute umbilicals, 2 of them. One for the rocket itself, and then one for the tower. And then a whole bunch of chutes, too, because the umbilicals alone aren't enough. Before I go outside and start installing this stuff, 1, I should probably eat, and then 2, just checking up on... Oh, it's nighttime. Come on, Solar Storm, go away. Yeah, how is it still hot out? I know it's like latent heat from the solar storm, but it's stopping me from using atmospheric gas. It's just the worst timing when our CO2 levels were like the lowest they've ever been. I mean, if it really mattered that bad, and I don't think we're gonna run into like a farm death situation here, but I could have always set up my. I could always run something through the centrifuge, which is high in carbon dioxide, and then capture that gas. Right? So, like, carbon dioxide can be found in charcoal or coal. So I could run a bunch of coal through the centrifuge or something and get carbon dioxide that way. I mean, I'm not that level of worried, but that would be a possibility. All right, let's eat and drink. It's funny, I have to put my suit on just to get through the airlock to eat and drink. Because this airlock becomes vacuum briefly, which would be very bad for my lungs. So, I think first pass I'm going to set up the batteries and the fuel tank. So the things related to the batteries and fuel tank I'm going to grab now. And then add more parts. Maybe I'll do the scanner and scanner head too. So I got room in my inventory. Before I go out, is the filters finally on? Yes, the filter should be on. Yeah, and I can see the power. Okay, good. Good! We're gaining carbon dioxide. Oof. The pressure is going up. Yeah, I can see it going up. And then it's going to be like daybreak again. Just hurt my feelings, man. Oh, you know what? I forgot two things. I forgot power and gas umbilicals. Back inside. Oh, God. I need, like, a shelf for this stuff so it doesn't rush in. So that's shoot umbilical. Shoot umbilical. I'm just going to set it up on the... so I don't displace it. Alright. We're going to need a power umbilical for the rocket and then a gas umbilical for the rocket. Those are kind of important because without them, I don't know where to put things. So this was a non-negotiable. So it might not be, the internals might not be laid out the same way I did the last one. It's not really something I've been trying to mimic, necessarily. So my last rocket, the gas was lower. So I believe the gas umbilical is, or was at this level. Yep. And then that means power is at this level. Okay. And I can see the umbilical lines realign to where they would be, indicating that I've set them up correctly. Alright, so the big thing here is the medium tank is much larger than the small tanks. This is the size of the medium tank. What's important here is that the power... There, I can put it there. The plumbing and the power and data need to be aligned. So, the gas umbilicals are going to go for... Go here, here, there. So that's all the gas I need. That's my entire gas line. I think that's pretty simple. Right? So the umbilical connects. Not that I'm actually going to feed it anything. There shouldn't be any gas in the pipes anyway. There's not. So it connects correctly and it can refuel. Perfect. So the gas line's done already. And I just need to make sure to be hooking up the data port here so I know how much gas is in my line, and then the data port and power there for the rockets itself, but I haven't blocked that as far as I know. The next is the power umbilical, and where the batteries are going to be installed. So let's... put it right... Actually, let's... I might have it be here. My argument is the power output comes into the top here and then feeds down to where data is down there, and then we'll have a wire at the back go all the way up. Something along those lines. I think that will work. In order to get this installed, it's what, a bunch of cable coils? And then E-parts. And in order to plug this in, I will put heavy cables just to feed the battery. Oh, you know what? This is a bad spot because the data port is going to be inaccessible. So let's pick a better spot. Can't I just rotate it? Not without uninstalling it. So I can rotate it, but I would need to fully uninstall it first. So yeah, there it is. But now the port is accessible. So yes. I can rotate it, but like, you know, this is how. I totally forgot the ports need to not poke on the outside of the thing. All right. I guess I could have left the cables in. I'm gonna put them back. And then we'll start charging up the battery. I don't think it should take too long, but I also need to name the whole rocket too. There we go. Power umbilical in. Naming the rocket, the Dastardly Dave Miner. All right. Next, the scanner. Ooh, we might need jetpack fuel. Let's hook up data to everything. Actually, that would be wise to do next. So data here, data power there. Then we needed the tanks data. Then the battery data. Okay, so now everything that is installed in the rocket already has data and power shared. Right, the power comes in through the umbilical to the battery, charging up the battery, and then the battery's outflow goes to the rest of the rocket, connecting every port that exists. Let's go. Oh, you know, I do have some propellant in the spare tank, but yeah, it's going to be hard until I start to get actual CO2 buildup. I don't have a lot of propellant to work with. Can you paint the rockets? Yeah, we can paint the rockets. Yeah, we're at 21%. I think tonight, now that it's not going to be like another solar storm, it will be better. But like, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Otherwise, I'm going to have to intervene with some extra measures. Okay, that part's done. Let's hook up... Oh, well, it doesn't have a downlink yet. So this uplink can actually hook up to the Dave rocket yet. So let's keep installing the Dave rocket. We're going to want another fuselage for the cone up top. But before we do that, let's get the scanner and miner in. Those are the and the cargo. So the rocket cargo is big. I forget. All right, it doesn't need any parts. And the rocket miner is sort of big. And that needs E-parts, which I have. Okay. That's what we're installing next. The chute umbilicals are pretty small, but I'm going to grab those too, because it's kind of important. Now, we don't have any actual chutes yet. I haven't printed those up. Avionics can wait. The miner head, I guess I can bring out with me. And the data link and the avionics will probably go in the cone up top. So let's try to put the scanner in now. The scanner and the scanner head. Oh, and track, night, gas, and build the miner rocket is the goal. I forgot to update that. So ideally, I'd like the scanner sort of like tucked away so it's not going to really interfere with other systems. Maybe flat like that is okay. And this required, I think, just one steel sheet. Whoops. And I don't want to combine data and power with the heavy watt lines. It's one of the advantages of using two different types of cables is it's easy to avoid combining them accidentally. So we'll have data and power come off like this and then down. Good. All right, stick the scanner head on. Done. So this thing can now scan. Perfect. Next up is the miner, maybe? And keep in mind where the chute is, because that's going to be important. Now, this can go slightly into the cone, but boy, this does not want to point in any other direction. And then this is the cargo storage. This is the size of the cargo storage. So the intake to the cargo storage is in the top. I think what I'm going to need is some chutes. I'm going to need some basic chutes to be able to, like, rotate these things properly. Because what you want is your miner to basically immediately connect to your cargo. And then the cargo immediately connect to the chute umbilical. How did I jump that high? Got mad ups. That way you don't have like a giant spaghetti chute system, which is heavy and annoying and blocks out other infrastructure of your rocket. Before I start making chutes, do we have chutes? No? No. Okay, I guess I don't. And I have 152 moles of volatiles. Honestly, it's not very fast. I don't know. I don't know. I'll not worry about that right now. Where's the destination, Captain? Ice fields. Water ice. So I got, like, I don't know, 5 chutes for now. Oh boy, 16% CO2. I might need to intervene. That's probably enough chutes just to lay this out. And the other thing I should print up is the fuselage cone at the top. Trying to keep the weight down of your rocket's important because you want a good thrust-to-weight ratio, you want good fuel efficiency, so an overly heavy rocket is a bad thing. Very bad thing. You won't be able to land it, or you can try to land it and it'll crash and smash and you'll lose all of your minables. Especially in my case, if I'm mining, like, water ice, because it's not like, if that spills out anywhere, I would be able to collect it, it's just going to melt. It's not like nickel or iron or something where I can physically, like, grab chunks of it or whatever. Okay, now that that is set up, rocket miner. So our issue with the rocket miner was that we kind of wanted it upside down on purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a chute up here so the rocket miner binds to it. Maybe there? Yeah. I think this is a good spot for the rocket miner. And in order to install this, it's 2 electronic parts. Okay. Done. Then we put the mining head on. Done. Okay. Plug it in. I don't low on cables, but okay, now the rocket miner's plugged in, data and power. Then we want the rocket miner to feed to a chute that then feeds to cargo storage, because there's really no point in mining unless you're storing it. So here's rocket cargo storage. Mind the directionality of the inputs and outputs. So we'll do cargo storage. Actually, maybe like here. Maybe like that. But I will have to reroute where the power is here, because I'd want to put the umbilical there. So that doesn't really work. So maybe up one? Up one I think will work. The problem is I need the fuselage cone to build up one. So let's go get the fuselage cone so I can set this up. Building rockets feels a lot like stuffing stuff in a shed. Yes. Yes, it does. Alright, there's the fuselage cone. Pressure is going up, but it's at 13%, but it's climbing. No, it's not climbing yet. Should, let me check. Filters are on. I have net positive CO2 in that system. Yeah, it should be climbing. I'm worried about it. I might need to intervene. But for now, it's okay-ish. The other thing is I can, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna take some temporary measures here. I had like a ballast tank for the CO2. So I'm moving 2 cans. I'm gonna make sure these are pure CO2. Yep, they're both pure CO2. I'm moving 2 cans into the farm just to outgas them. And then I'll repressurize them so I have propellant. Knowing that the cans are going to be mixed gas at the end of this. Because now they're not pure CO2, they're like stuff, right? Like weird gas stuff. So, let's empty this tanks out in this room, which is vacuumed, and then get more propellant, because I don't want to, if I didn't do it this way, we'd have oxygen in our propellant line, which yeah, I mean, it would not be very good. It would be a little extra oomph, but not in a good way. So we have an active vent that is constantly flushing this room to vacuum, so I can empty these cans out to vacuum, and then we can reuse them rather than printing up 2 new cans, which is unnecessary. Yeah, I don't know what would happen if you tried to use propellant that had oxygen. I think you would just, like, blow up and catch fire. I'm not really sure, but I'm not also willing to figure that out. That one's empty. That one's empty. Cool. Fire appears around me. Yeah, basically, goodness gracious, you're great balls of fire at that point. Alright, so we still have propellant. That is climbing. The CO2 percent is going up. And then the pressure is a little bit, it's a little bit higher. I mean, I don't know. I came in here because I needed what? The cone, and I picked it up. Okay. Sorry, scatterbrain. I did not get enough sleep. My kid's not been my toddler's been sick all week with like the flu, and out of daycare, not in daycare, as a result of being sick, and my brain is like a bit scrambled. All right, so fuselage cone. And now we should be able to put the cargo storage up a little higher so that it doesn't block data and power. Cargo storage there. That's perfect. Because then we'll have a chute coming out. This is its output, not input. So this is where you feed it, for insert. This is the output. And this is where you have your cargo umbilical. So we would want a cargo umbilical here, and then paired somewhere over here. At the same, I think it's at this level. No, that's backwards. I think I need more chutes to actually hook this thing up. That's the wrong level. That's backwards again. It's just like a USB port. Third time's a try. And there it is. That's the correct level because it lined up. Good. Then, oops, we'll want to connect the miner's output to the chute input. And I need 2 more chutes for that. And then the last to be put in this rocket is the avionics and the downlink, which hopefully there's room for. We'll see. And then I'll do the, like, just the mental check of, like, do I have everything? Because, I mean, you know, I'm a scatterbrain, so I might not. Nilsy, thank you for the resub. Bye-bye. So 2 more basic chutes. Oh, the other thing I should check is if the rocket chute lever is available. This will make sense in a second. So 18% CO2. There's a little bit of moles CO2 left to be filtered. I don't know. The other thing that we could do is so one way to fix this is the intake. So totally forget the rocket building for a moment. One way to fix this is to have a active vent pull in air during the night into a very, 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 very large tank that doesn't get very pressurized to keep the pressure below the condensation point of pollutant, which is below, let's say 5 megapascals. So have a mega tank that we pull in air at night up to 5 megapascals as a supply for these filters. I think that so that it's not passive vent fed. That way we have like a big, that way it's filtering all day and all night. I might need to pause the rocket launch for that, so that so that we actually get some volatiles and we get CO2 to replenish the farm, which is like barely hanging on by a thread. You thought I turned off the vent in the farm? No, it's on. You can see it through the window. It's on, and it's just not doing very well. So I think what I'll do is I'll hook up the... I'll try to build the rest of the rocket. But we don't even have the rocket fuel for it because I don't have the volatiles. And then I'll try to work some sort of like intake up to 5 MPa for the rocket so that I have more CO2 to play with. But 128 days! What's 2 to the 6th? 2 to the 7th, I mean? Yeah, 2 to the 7th. 2 to the 7th days survived. Woohoo! Before I connect this up, is the chute handle available for me to trigger? Yes. So when you land back down with like a payload, you need to pull this handle on the cargo. Maybe there's a way to do it through the panel, their computer. But basically, you pull this handle, and then all the stuff you mined up comes through the chute. So we still need to power this up, but the chutes don't block that interaction spot. That's the important bit. All right, so now the miner is hooked up to the storage. And then we need the... I'm going to run out of regular cables here. Then we need the storage plugged in. Because the storage, you know, has power needs, like 5 watts, but it needs to be plugged in. Oh, no. Okay, so that's plugged in. And then the only things left to build in this thing are the downlink and the avionics, but I'm going to need more cable coils for that. Also, Dastardly Dave, what color rocket do you want? Or colors? Ideally, of paint colors I already have. If it's a ice miner, maybe blue? But that's up to you. That's a good idea. Make it blue. Okie dokie. Will do. Well, the farm is managing. Not well, but it's managing. 6% oxygen, 77 nitrogen, 17 carbon dioxide. As long as the carbon dioxide stays above 5%. But yeah, I'm going to have to rig up like an intake vent and a large tank. So that's going to be my project soon. Because it's just... we don't even have the rocket fuel to launch. So the rocket fuel... In my experience, the amount of O2 and H2 that you need to launch like a basic miner is roughly 6 kilomoles oxygen, which we have 8.75, so we have enough oxygen. But then we need twice as much, 12 kilomoles of volatiles, and I only have just shy of 9. So we need, and then I have only 200 over here. So we need more volatiles to even launch the rocket, which is why this needs to be solved, not just for the sake of the farm, but also for the rocket launch itself, because I don't have enough hydrogen to launch the rocket as it is. So we'll hook up, like, initially I think what I'll do is I won't do the logic for it. I will just use that mega vent and make, like, a giant tank so it doesn't pressurize as quickly, and do a manual, night capture, and then I'll hook up the logic for it as a stopgap measure for, killing our crops. So let's get the rocket finished, and then we'll fix our CO2 problem again. The third The third fix this stream. It's so embarrassing. Oh, God. It's so broken. Oh, I don't have propellant, do I? Back inside. God. I am the worst astronaut there ever was. You love this game, it's a struggle for some. I mean, I'm not truly struggling. Some of this was just like, I didn't come up with a good redesign when I got rid of our old design. Had I just replaced the filters on the old design, it would have worked much better, but it was not as efficient. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things. All right, so this is the downlink, which can go just about anywhere. So that's fine. What's the install here? Do I add cables? Yes, cables. And then screwdriver electronic parts. Yes, okay. Brilliant! I just came up with the protocol of installing this pulling the concept out of my bum. Alright, so now it has an uplink, downlink, which means it can be connected to via the uplink. So we can actually start computering it. And yes, that's a word now. And then the last piece of this is the avionics, which I'll put here. I think that will be inside. I hope. Okay. No, let go. What's the, is it G? What's the grapple button? Okay, hold on. I never, ever use grapple, and I forget the controls for it. I started grabbing the rocket, and then I was like shimmying up and down. I forget. Grab is H. I must have accidentally hit H, as in hotel. Okay, installing avionics. Oh, jump freaking clang! Oh my god. Installing avionics shouldn't shoot me across the room. It should shoot the rocket across the room. And once this is plugged in, thank you for tuning in to Stationeer's Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodomont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodomont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch a next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.